recorded?
Yep, all good.
Great. Okay, so it's 6:36 and I call this the March meeting of President's Council for District 25 to order. I'd like to thank everyone for coming. And if you could rename yourself with your school as part of your name so we know who's represented tonight, that would be great. And to get started, we're going to go over the minutes.
I'm gonna share my screen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then as a reminder, Lewis put the link in the chat for everyone to sign in. Okay, Christine, you want to go over the minutes?
Wait, what? Actually, want me to read them?
Well, just kind of overview. It doesn't have to be line by line.
Okay. I call to order 6:35 p.m. Approval of minutes was approved. Dr. Vite's report, you could see it on the PowerPoint presentation in the shared folder, but he spoke about application deadlines, MLK events, bicycle safety workshop. There was a special ed parent learning opportunity. A recording meeting link is also available on the site. There is an iReady workshop at PS 107 that was also recorded and available on our site. Queens North Spelling Bee, there was information about that. Project Soapbox, Civics for All. He also spoke about Parent and District Leadership Summit 2024. Lunar New Year's events. He also spoke, Dr. Mike, you spoke about a lot. He mentioned about our debate league with big events that were happening the next day from the meeting. There was a cyberbullying workshop on March 5th at 6 to 7 p.m. Actually, that took place at 194. Then there was math. He mentioned about math madness, gave the dates, as you can see. He mentioned about request for PS 169 and Bell Academy to be renamed to Council Member Paul Vallone. I thought that was very nice. So it was in memory of his great achievements. And it's basically the campus area, right? The park area that was renamed.
Yeah, so the school is currently under construction. It has a new wing that's coming. So as part of that whole kind of unveiling, the goal would be to create it as the Paul Vallone Educational Community Campus with PS 169 and Bell Academy would be the new context of the name. So the schools hold their namesake, but the building becomes called named after former council member Vallone.
Great. He had shared a PowerPoint presentation in regards to data that showed chronic absenteeism. I jotted some notes on there, but all of that information can be found on our website. Move down a little bit quicker. I mean, this current state of the cadence, also see PowerPoint presentation. So pretty much all of this part is on the PowerPoint presentation. I just jotted down some notes. And then Wang Yi Chung from District 25 social worker, she had spoken. She had mentioned support school with our social emotional learning and basically gave a sample presentation on what she would basically do when she comes, if you want to have her come to the school and speak to families in regards to any of this. Also a PowerPoint presentation, also in our shared folder. But she basically briefly explained that it was about an hour to an hour and a half in presentation to the parents, and then mentions the different things that she would go over. And then Esther Maludo spoke. She's mentioned about 2025 starting computer-based testing for 4th, 5th, 6th, and 8th grades. In spring of 2026, grades 3 to 8 will start computer-based testing. That information can be found on that link over there that I had mentioned. This everything will also be on our shared folder. Our next meeting is today. Ta-ta. And here we are. Meeting was adjourned at 7:53. That concludes the minutes for last month.
Thank you so much. Does anyone have any questions about the minutes before we proceed with approval? Okay, if somebody could make a motion to approve and state your name, please. Well, this is Rachel. I make a motion to approve. If somebody could second the motion and state your name.
This is Myrna. I second.
Okay, thank you so much. So the minutes are approved. If anyone has any questions, they can email the President's Council. Our email is available also on the website. So thank you, Jenny, for sharing the minutes. And thank you for Christine for going over them. We appreciate your cooperation. Now I'd like to turn the floor over to Dr. Mike for the superintendent's report.
Sure, absolutely. Thank you, Rachel. Good evening, everyone. Hope everyone's doing okay. For those of you who participated in the festivities over the weekend for St. Patrick's Day, I hope you all had a very happy and joyous time and safe at the same time. So I'm going to talk to you guys a little bit about where we currently are as a district, just some reminders. One really important one that's going to kind of kick off our conversation today is around Summer Rising. So I'm going to talk to you a little bit about that. Make sure that you guys have the information and that you're encouraging, the folks that that you support, that Summer Rising is in fact, that applications are up and running and the due date is coming soon. So I'm going to do a little greetings as I did already, updates, reminders, just celebrating our respect for all schools, and then talk about a couple of district events which were mentioned last time, but I'm going to talk a little bit about the follow-up thereafter, just so that you guys have access to some of that information. So summarizing applications, this is important. It is due, applications are due by next Monday. Every year we run into this space since Summer Rising has been happening, where someone will say, I didn't apply, I didn't realize. So we're sending out information. It's posted all over our own social media space to make sure that folks are aware, making sure that our schools are aware, but also from your perspective as a parent, just making sure that we're pushing those that are interested in Summer Rising to apply. Is no guarantee that if you do apply that there will be a seat, unfortunately, but it at least keeps you in the space of having an opportunity to participate this summer. So there's a couple of ways that you can access this information. Certainly the public website with the link is already in this presentation for those that need it. The window, as I mentioned, March 25th, next Monday is the deadline date for applications. There is a little bit of a difference this year than from last year. So K-5 begins July 2nd and concludes on August 16th. That is Monday to Friday, 8 to 6. Last year, middle school would follow a similar type of pattern, but this year that has changed. Middle school schedule is Monday to Thursday from 8 to 4, July 2nd through August 8th, and there is no Friday programming. That's an important part for any of our middle school parents, that they know that there will be no Fridays. Last year there was. This year there will not be Friday programming, and the window is shorter than elementary school. So it's important that parents are aware of that and plan accordingly if they are applying for Summer Rising. Now, applications can be completed via the My Schools link that is present there. You will need your account information if you're not sure what it is as a parent. You can certainly reach out to your child's school, your parent coordinator. And if you're having difficulty from thereafter, certainly the district office can assist if you do need some additional support. But I can't emphasize this enough that, the application window is the application window. I cannot possibly give anyone the idea that they will extend that application. So let's make sure that if you're applying that you get it in by next week, Monday. We will certainly continue to follow up with schools to encourage that everyone does apply, because the number of seats is finite. We don't have an unlimited number of seats in the district, and we want to make sure that those that are interested do get access to them. So just a really important reminder. This we've gone over many times. I'll just quickly go through it again. Excuse me. Monday, April 15th is when upper grade G&T application opens. Friday, May 3rd is when it closes, and then June 12th, you'll get that offer released. So updates and reminders. This one is something that we did talk about at a previous President's Council meeting. We did make some adjustments to the survey that we would like to send out. That'll be going out very, very soon. The collection of this information is all anonymous. It's really intended to give us a little bit of information about where we are as a district. A few of the important ones are aligned with our district goals. And one of them being, have you received some kind of training or some kind of support as a parent when it comes to implementation of the HMH curriculum? We do want to know that you may not have gone, but where you at least offered the opportunity to attend one of those sessions. I do know that things happen as a parent, and our best intentions, we might want to attend, but things happen and you can't. But I want to at least know that you've been given the invitation to attend them, as it's part of our expectations as a district. So between HMH and MindUp, those are two that are really, really important elements in there, as well as one that I think, and I'm going to mention in just a moment around making sure that you guys know the iReady recording is up, but making sure that all of our families know where their child has performed in relationship to these diagnostic assessments. Because if we don't know that, it's hard to ask some of those important questions. So it's really important that if you as a parent aren't receiving that information, that you let me know too, so that we can organize around it accordingly, and making sure that our schools are sending it home to you in a way that makes sense. So needless to say, this is something that will be coming out very shortly. So be on the lookout for that. Lewis will be sending a blast out from the district out to all of our families. So I'm hoping we get a pretty large response. Last year, we got about 1,400 parents. I'm hoping we get far more than that this year to give us more information on, how we're doing as a district. In the end, we're in service of you. So whatever it is that, you feel is necessary for us to know, that this survey is an opportunity to do that. And the only confusing part is that there is a citywide survey that's coming out now too. So I know that parents can get survey fatigue just as much as anyone else in our school system. So I do encourage that you complete it, as it is for us specifically here in District 25.
Excuse me, Dr. Mike, before you,
Yeah.
sorry to interrupt. When I was signing into the meeting tonight, I noticed that the parent survey link is actually already active on the President's Council page.
That's correct. The survey is open.
Yes.
We're
we
just
Just
haven't
hasn't
waiting,
been broadcast.
we're waiting for the
Translation.
letter to be translated that we're going to send to all parents. But the
Okay,
survey itself is open. It's on the website. It's on the banner on top. Yeah. So you guys
Yeah,
can
we just
you
didn't
can fill
send
it out
it.
now. Yeah, we just haven't
Yeah.
told anyone yet.
Yeah,
You're
we just
actually
didn't
the
send it
first
out.
people that we're telling. But it is open. You can take it now.
It's open.
Okay.
You can complete it. But yeah, we haven't sent it widely because we're just waiting on translation for one last document. We had a couple of the changes made inside of the survey itself just to align more with a couple of the questions that we adjusted. So that was translated, but we're waiting on the letter. So as soon as that's ready, we will send it out for all of you guys.
understood. Thank you for the clarification.
No, thanks, Rachel. I appreciate you clicking on the clicking on the link to notice that it was up and running. So just a quick recap. This is something I did share at CEC. I also shared it at DLT. And what I do, everyone, is make sure that whatever I am sharing in one of our larger leadership groups, I'm going to share in the other, so that everyone's apprised of the information. So Black History Month, really obviously just super important that we're continuing to grow in our work, and making sure that all of our communities are recognizing the contribution of Black Americans that help support where we are today, in society. One of the other things that I wanted to highlight here is February 29th, I had the opportunity to go to St. Paul's Community Church, where they made the announcement around the Hidden Voices Global Diaspora curriculum. And basically what this particular curriculum is connecting into our current Passport curriculum and bringing in spaces of where our African community has impacted the world and U.S. history in spaces where maybe perhaps it wasn't as illuminated in the past. So that will be part of our current curriculum. It just offers lessons inside of it, which more will come on this from our district team. Melinda from our team is our social studies point, and we'll be working together on this to make sure that we're rolling it out accordingly, and certainly in conversation with you guys too, so that you can see what it is that's a part of this curriculum. But we're looking forward to rolling this out in the future. So keep your eyes peeled on that. More to come. Respect for All Week. Number of activities that have gone on between Respect for All Week, 100 days of school. Kids engaged in a variety of different things. Always exciting to watch them put on those big happy smiles. Really what school should be about. And part of that Respect for All Week was announcing some winners. I did announce them at CEC, did announce them at DLT. I'm going to do that here too. So we have big shout outs to Holton from PS 209, kindergartner who submitted his artwork in regards to Respect for All, and wound up winning for his contribution. An essay from Kayla at PS 24. Congratulations to Kayla. An art piece from Vivian at 237, and an essay from a student from Jocelyn at 185. So a big shout out to them for not only participating, but earning recognition for their work. So congrats to them. We also have a series of our schools based on the work that they're doing to promote a safe and inclusive environment. PS 22, 130, 169, 201, 209, 214, and 244 are all being recognized for the work that they're doing in their schools to really promote that space of making sure that children feel valued. So congratulations to them on being recipients of these Respect for All, for being a Respect for All award winner at each of their sites. So big shout out to them. Remote learning, just wanted to thank everyone, including you guys as parents, for making sure that we were able to, even though it was a little bit stressful at the beginning, make sure that all of our kids had access to learning on that day. Team really worked hard, principals worked hard, and teachers worked hard to make sure that kids had access to learning. So we appreciate all of you guys for making that a day that we were able to get through in a good deal of success. So we had over 90% of our kids in our classrooms. So that means we created a day where they were learning. So big shout out to all those that helped organize for that. Big shout out to 194. Yay, Christine. They have earned back-to-back years as the basketball championship at 194. And congrats to 185 for making it to the finals as well. Both teams really worked hard to, in this game, and 194 did come out victorious. So big congrats to them. The one thing I do want to say here before I move forward, big thank you to Diana from our team. She's been doing a tremendously large amount of work to bring athletics into District 25. Hi, yay, Diana's here. Been doing a tremendous job of bringing athletics to our district. It's not like we didn't have sport or the idea of sport before, but Diana is doing things at a whole different level. We have a new partnership for lacrosse. We have a partnership with NYCFC with soccer. There's volleyball going on. We have basketball. Diana, we have bocce, as I mentioned to you guys in the past. Diana, fill in the blank with any of the other ones that I'm missing since you're on here.
I'm actually I'm gonna be speaking after you, I think. So you're stealing all of my talking points, Dr. Mike.
Oh, then I'm not going to say anything. I'm not going to say anything else. So Diana's going to explain those amazing things that we're doing. But for me as a kid, one of the things that I remember most about school was the ability to participate in athletics with my peers and a variety of different ones. So if I wanted to play something, I had access to it. And I think there's so much value in sport that that teaches us so much. And it doesn't have to be, you know, this sport that's going to be this rough and tumble where kids are going to have opportunity to get hurt or anything along those lines. But it, you know, it teaches us how to be cooperative. It teaches us how to collaborate. It teaches us what teamwork is like. It teaches us how to be a strategist and critically think, what do I do to help win this particular contest? And, you know, Diana's bringing more and more of that to the district. And I can't wait to hear her talk a little bit about it more in a few minutes. But I truly value it. And I think our schools and our kids, more than anything else, truly value it. So we want to continue to elevate those opportunities as a community. This I did mention last session. I just want to quickly state that the recording is here for any of you at your own schools that wish to have access to information around iReady. That is there for you guys to continue to make mention of. District Debate League, congrats to Bell Academy. They did earn first place at our Winter Classic, and PS32 for placing first at the elementary school sweepstakes. So congrats to them. Our big District 25 championship is in May. So I'm excited to see all of our teams organize themselves for a successful competition at that time. I do want to shout out that there was a student. So IS-25 went to Harvard last month and competed against, I want to say, oh, Louis, do you remember how many thousands of schools? Well, no, 250 school and like 3,000 kids.
Right, yes, that was it. It was,
So
yeah.
amongst 3,000 students, we had the #1 middle school speaker at the Harvard competition, which is amazing. So the more we can do these things, the better our kids are going to be able to grow and learn. So really super excited about that. Hello, March, and hello, Women's History Month. So big shout out to all of our women for not only those in history, but currently, you know, for all that you do to make sure that your families are always in best working order and all the things that sometimes go unnoticed. Big shout out to all of our women in our community for everything that they do and you guys do as presidents of President's Council. You know, and we're going to continue to celebrate across our schools this month as they bring forward all of those in history that have really supported, you know, where we are today as a society, and we'll continue moving forward. So we will have more on that as the month goes on, and then during the April conversation, I will share more with you. Cyberbullying workshop. Christine was actually present at this one for 194. I don't know if there were any other parents. I don't see any other names that I recognize that were there. But what the outgrowth of this and what I wanted to just quickly mention is that we have to do more and engage in more conversations around the cyberspace, whether it's about bullying or just making sure our kids are safe. Some of the things they click on, they don't always realize what they're clicking on. And some of the things that they put down in the digital space often winds up coming back to get them into trouble. So we're going to continue to work through this. I'm going to connect with my friend over here, Louis, who is our resident guru, along with Marissa, to offer some things for our kids to be mindful of. Because it's one thing for us as parents to hear our training around cyberbullying and cyber safety. But our kids need to be the ones that are mindful of it too. So we're going to be working on organizing time and space for each of those constituencies together to engage in that conversation, maybe perhaps in a digital way so that we can get more of you on than not. But more to follow on that. I just wanted to make sure that we did a quick recap. March Madness, March Madness, that's coming soon too. Math Madness, we had our first one last week. On March 12th. And I have to tell you, this was such a great event. We had, I want to say 60 to 70 people at IS-25. And what I loved about it most was the number of folks that were actually just sitting there with their kids, engaging in math problems, trying to compete against one another, whether it's dad and son or daughter or mom and son or daughter, sitting there. And as you as I was standing in the back of the room and just watching, there was nothing where people were just walking around aimlessly. They were sitting legitimately working on math. And the best part about it, working on math and having fun with it. So, and of course, Lewis has to drop in some images of me. Great. Thank you, Lewis. Appreciate it. But the one thing that I thought was most appealing and most appealing to me, if you notice on that top left picture, you'll see all of those mats that are on the floor. That's something that we refer to as math and movement, something that we've been bringing out into our schools for a specific reason. One of the things that I do know is if we have children that are struggling with mathematics and we keep giving them the same exact thing that they struggle with without making some kind of an adjustment to how we deliver it, then they're going to continue to be that kid that struggles in math, that kid that makes that statement, oh, I can't do math, I'm not good at math. Well, we have to open up their eyes in different ways. And there's a bunch of research around children and moving with and engaging in mathematics that shows that when we do both of those things together, it opens up those synapses in the brain to really promote conceptual understanding of math. So we're going to be bringing a lot of that work to our schools, not on a every moment to moment basis, but opportunity for our kids to explore certainly in a deeper way.
Please come to those events. They're a lot of fun.
I feel like I missed one.
Please
Oh,
come.
I did miss one, right? Okay, here it is. So just to update and reminder, New York State exams, just making sure that all of our parents are aware and on top of these dates. Grades 3 through 8, the ELA assessment will be administered. The paper-based version is April 11th and 12th. The computer-based testing is April 11th through the 19th. For schools that are going completely computer-based, which are some, there will be differences in the window in which kids take it. If they are taking paper-based and only paper-based, then it will be the 11th and 12th. And if kids are not there on one of those 2 days, there is a makeup window for children as well. Children in grades 3 through 8 for math, that paper-based window is May 7th and 8th. With additional days thereafter. It's usually, Lewis, what, 3 or 4 days? What do they put in for makeups for the paper base? It's usually like 3 or 4 days after that.
Yeah.
And then computer-based testing is May 7th through the 17th. So again, if they're computer-based tested, then children may be on the 7th, they may be on the 8th. It'll all be based on how schools program grade by grade for their kids during that time. So I know that computer-based testing has had some concern, a little bit concerned about the facilitation. One thing that I will tell you is that schools that have gone through it have not had an issue at all. So some of those concerns I get because it's different. So all year long, we have been engaging our kids in digital types of assessments throughout the entire year, just to make sure that they were prepared and how do I look at text from one window to the next. So they've been having access to that throughout the school year. So I think they should be pretty well prepared for taking the assessment online. Our kids are much better than us at flipping through that digital space at times than we are. But I do think we will be successful during this administration, and we will, certainly connect with Barbara Marsasak. She's our borough testing coordinator for any additional support that you feel like you guys need as parents. And I know that Barbara has shared with us in the past she has no problem coming to join. So Rachel, if that's something that you like, I can touch base with Barbara to organize that in the future. But
Yes,
other than
Dr. Mike?
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I have a question. So my son did a test. They were just doing a random test for like the end of the module, and the website wasn't working. So they had to postpone the test for another week. Will this happen in our state exams? Because when we went live on remote, half of parents was able to get on and half of parents weren't able to get on, and it was just it was a bit crazy.
Yeah. So I think with the remote day, I think there were a couple of things that they've since ironed out. I don't think that will be an issue anymore. It was a combination of things that that happened that caused that. But I think they've now since fixed whatever issue that was technically that caused that problem. And computer-based testing, even if it were to happen, during let's just say the day of or the administration of, because of the program is organized the way that it is, it will capture the student's information and it saves automatically. So it will not impact the kids' answers or what they were able to complete at the given time. So, all of those things allow for, in the event there's some major outage across the entire city or system for that matter, that it gives that flexibility within the window. That's why they give you 10 days inside of that for anything that may potentially occur. So that kids do, so even if it were to happen on a given day, that it's rectified for a child on within that window.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Okay. Any other questions about computer-based testing? Okay, and the very last thing, and I just, if any of you have just a moment, just to pause on these two areas. So, and I think I saw Wendy is on here. Wendy is here too. So Wendy and I, along with Shirley from the CEC, and Jenny was there as well, went to a parent summit in late January, as you guys know. And these were three areas that we identified to support our work as a collective group. So one of them was around making sure that we were diligent in providing language support to families. The other one was around, building parent engagement opportunities that were relational in nature. And then lastly, the DLT developing subcommittees. So I do want to inform you that we have already started the subcommittee work for our DLT, which I'm excited about. We organized ourselves into those committees last session, which was, all these weeks keep blending into me for me some reason. I think it was on the 11th, March 11th. We came together to organize around this. So what I'm wondering for you guys as presidents of President's Council, is there anything that comes to mind for you, for us to be able to think about as a DLT when it comes to language access for our meetings that we're holding at CEC, district community types of events, language access outside of this space, anything that comes to mind for you that you would like us to really think about as a DLT, and this space around the types of things that you would like to see our schools do when it comes to parent engagement opportunities. Because the one thing that I do know and that I've seen anyway, is when parents are given opportunities to do things with their kids, the turnout is far different than me saying, Wendy, please come for this HMH workshop today. It just has a completely different feel. So I'm wondering what feedback you guys might have. If you could just take a moment of pause as parents of President's Council, things that you kind of would say, Mike, this is something for the DLT to really think about as subcommittees to really build this work out across our schools. Is there anything that comes to mind for you that we should be really working on as a district leadership team? So if you just take one moment to just pause and reflect on that, that would be great. And if any of you have any feedback, I'll jot it down here for myself so that I can bring it back to the DLT. So if any of you have any thoughts or recommendations for where you think other things that you think our team could pay attention to, I'd love to hear it. And certainly if there's nothing that strikes you now, please don't hesitate. You let Esther, let Jenny know, let myself know, because we really do want to continue to build our engagement work as a district. I think our schools have been doing some really great things, for our schools, but we want to continue to build on that moving forward. So any feedback would be greatly appreciated. I know the subcommittees would love to hear from you. So just those couple of things, that's going to be our starting place, and then we'll continue to grow as time goes on. But other than that, guys, thank you so much. Always love having an opportunity to chat with you.
Thank you so
Dr.
much for
Mike?
joining us. Oh, sorry,
I'm sorry.
somebody.
I heard someone.
Yeah, I have a question about Summer Horizon. I have a lot of parents who's reaching out to me because Nest and Horizon doesn't really have a good base when it comes to the education for Summer Horizon. Is there any way that in the future we're going to have like programs for them?
So
can you explain that a little bit more? Like, what do you mean they don't have?
Nest and Horizon, kids with autism. So they don't. So it wasn't a good experience for my son because there were a couple of kids who had extra needs that their needs wasn't being met. And it's unfortunate because they deserve the same amount of education and activities any of the kids can't even get my words out. It's they deserve the same.
The same experience.
Yeah, the experience, exactly. So a lot of parents are very concerned that there's nothing for them to do, and they're reaching out through our Facebook.
And you're talking after the DOE program, after their ASMS program,
even with
summarizing
the DOE,
portion.
yeah, if they have like a Nest summarizing, if they have like some kind of integrated, because go ahead.
So Myrna, so the program that is run, the Department of Ed side of that program is supported by 219 and their team, specifically for children that are coming from 219. It's when it becomes part of the space with the CBO and the Department of Ed team is not necessarily there, that those become two different programs. I don't want to say two different programs. They're not being supported by Department of Ed staff. It's done by the community-based organization.
Yeah.
So that part of it becomes different, but the Department of Ed side of that program is fully run and typically run by 219 staff. So, and folks that know the kids, know the programs, know the supports that they're going to put in place. But I can touch base with Ms. Vallone about that as well, because she's typically, along with her team, they organize the Nest and Horizon program, wherever it winds up being held. And in this case, Lewis, where is the program for 219 this year?
It's at 165.
Yeah.
So there's two sites for elementary, and then we go to
237
for the middle.
Right?
Yeah.
Depending on the grade level of the students.
Okay. Yeah, because moms are just reaching out because, they want them to not just have the educational part, but also the experience of the CBOs.
100%. 100%. And and just know 165 also has a program there as well that services Nest and Horizon children. So they do have the staff there and the mindset around what needs to be put in place to support. It is different though when the CBO does take over after the DOE program does come and go. So they very well can offer paraprofessionals in terms of additional support, but the staff members are not Department of Education staff members. They're working through the CBO. So that's the biggest difference.
They don't have the understanding of how to deal with children with autism or with some kind of like with ADHD. They don't have that training, and it's rough.
Yeah, no, I get it, and that's something we can certainly follow up on for sure.
Okay, awesome.
Yep.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Mike. Does anyone else have any other questions or comments for Dr. Mike before we move on our agenda? Okay, well then, as was already mentioned, I'd like to first finish by thanking Dr. Mike for your time with us tonight. It's always appreciated. And now I'd like to turn the floor over to Diana Stein, District 25 Instructional Lead. So Diana, the floor is yours.
Thank you so much. And thank you so much for having me this evening. Very excited to be here and chat about what's going on in District 25 regarding phys ed and health ed. I'm just going to share my screen if that's okay. As well as our athletic league. Just give me a thumbs up that you can see my screen and I'll put it on slideshow. Okay, great. Thank you. Thank you. Put it on slideshow and go from here. Okay, are we still okay? Great, thank you.
You're good, Diana.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. So super honored to be part of the District 25 team. It's been a wonderful, launch off to the new year, and I'm really happy and excited to share what's been happening and what's going to be happening in the coming weeks, months, and even year. And Dr. Mike took all of my talking points, so no, I'm just joking.
Sorry, Diana.
Just joking, just joking.
Listen, you know how excited I get about what you're doing, so I can't help it.
And I am here for it, please. So in thinking about kind of what I wanted to share tonight, I had so many things to share, and I kind of narrowed it down to just kind of give, this wonderful, President's Council an overview about PE, health education, and also our blooming athletic league, in hopes that you'll all have me back in the future to talk about the rest. So here we go. Just wanted to just kind of dive in. Oh, I missed the slide. So my purpose for kind of opening up with our phys ed teachers and kind of what we do. I love showing this slide because I feel like phys ed and gym teachers, as folks can call them, we kind of get like a bad rap, and the expectation can definitely vary. I'm really happy to share that here in District 25, we really hold our phys ed teachers to a very high standard, and we certainly really teach to our standards. We teach to the curriculum, to our scope. And this is something that I just, always think is funny, because I always laugh at the one about what my friends think I do, because that's definitely what my friends in my past life, for the, past, 12 years of teaching, definitely thought that I did every day. But dodgeball is not legal, so we can't do it. So here we go. So just some info about phys ed in District 25. I'm very proud to share with you that we are the only district in New York City that has 100% of our schools with at least one certified phys ed teacher. And that has been, years in the making, and this could not have been possible without our, leadership, really kind of cracking down and saying that we need licensed certified PE teachers to do this work. As we know, it is super important. So the goal of PE really is that physical literacy. We all know that the goal is kind of lifelong fitness, but it's really more so like students having the confidence, the skill set to really be able to make choices that will keep them active for the rest of their lives. I'm sure that we've all heard of the freshman 15. That happens, past, 12th grade, because there's no longer activity built into their everyday schedules. So, phys ed really kind of lays the foundation that, kids need to be active. And as, Dr. Mike said earlier, active kids are better learners. So this definitely kind of, trickles out into all of our academic spaces. For those who don't know, we do have national and also state standards as far as, learning. And what's exciting is that in the past year, as recent as 4 days ago, our standards have been rewritten to really kind of represent the idea that phys ed is not just a place for kids to move. It's a space for kids to learn and also kind of build out those social components, right? So like, learning how to share, things like that. So I was super excited to see that the standards really kind of like encompass like the whole child. So we've been moving forward with that. So just to give you kind of an overview about quality phys ed, what it should be, right? you see the triangle, and I tell our PE teachers that this is the most important triangle you'll ever see in your whole life. So you see kind of at the bottom, right, the goal of our elementary PE is really to kind of lay the foundational skills. This is where, you know, children learn how to skip, hop, leap, throw, things like that. All with the goal that when they move on to middle school, there's that you know, application piece where students kind of participate in smaller sided games that look like an actual sport. And then we move on to high school, and then, you know, just as long as things have kind of moved in the right, you know, direction, this is where students really find what they like, find their niche, right? And this really kind of also lends itself to the idea that we're trying to expand our PE, you know, curriculums as well as our athletic leagues to give our kids as much exposure to as many things as possible to find that niche, to keep them healthy and to keep them moving past 8th grade, 9th grade, and even 12th grade. So this is kind of where our vision lies when it comes to planning and executing quality physical education. So how are we supporting phys ed teachers, programs, curriculum, etc.? I'm super proud to, you know, share with you all that our PE teachers do engage in at least monthly professional learning. Some of our topics from this year has been, you know, CRSE. This is one that I am, you know, super passionate about. I think it's important in any and all spaces. So that's one that's kind of been big. And also this came from a need identified from, you know, principals, which I think is a great kind of, you know, nod to them in that they have been seeing it and they shared it, and then we all kind of made it happen. We've also gone through standards-based instruction. We've gone through FitnessGram, which I'm sure that you've all heard about. This is your yearly, you know, fitness testing for all of our students, grades K through 12. We've gone through, you know, grading policy, and this encompasses a lot. You know, going back to the idea that children are, you know, actually learning in, you know, PE. We've kind of shifted our focus from children just kind of showing up and behaving to having that be their grade. We're now looking at data. We're now collecting pre and post, you know, tools to really kind of gauge like where students are and how they are learning and what kind of they're, you know, landing in after the, you know, unit of study. And this has been great to really identify not only teacher gaps, but also, you know, learning gaps and what our teachers need to teach over and over again in order to make sure that there is learning taking place and also growth. And lastly, I'm super, you know, also proud to share with you that we do have monthly professional learning communities for our PE teachers. And we have the highest rate of attendance in the city, meaning that we have the most PE teachers present. And that's definitely, you know, translating, right? We can see it in our gyms. We can see it in our PE spaces that our teachers are, you know, taking in what's being covered, you know, every month. And there is that transference of, you know, practice. At these, you know, PLCs, we're focusing on teacher growth, student learning. So what you see on the right-hand side, what we did for about 3 months of this year is we really kind of, you know, took the lens of how can we elevate PE and how can we align it to the idea that as a city, we're focused on reading, literacy, right? So what we did was we took the new New York State standards that they were actually released in September, and we unpacked every single one of them, right? And from the unpacking process, what you see is the academic vocabulary that was pulled out from that one standard. And keep in mind that this is only one standard for one grade. There's actually 6 standards, and there's an anchor standard for every single grade within those 6 standards. So just in one standard for one grade, we were able to pull out this academic language with the intention that our teachers are going to use this to really reinforce literacy, reading, comprehension, etc., into our PE spaces. And then just one piece about looking looking into the, future, we are going to be having a District 25 PE conference in June, where our teachers will come together in person and share best practices, a chance to really highlight what the great work that's been going on, and for teachers to learn from each other in the physical space. Oops, sorry, good one. Again, going back to the idea that we're really focusing on non-traditional sports, right? It creates a safe space. Oftentimes when, teachers say, okay, now we're going to introduce our basketball unit. Well, half of the children shut down. Not every child likes basketball. There are children who play on teams and play on, different, avenues, and they have a very high skill set, more so than other students do. So what I've been trying to really reinforce is the idea of introducing and using non-traditional sports to practice all of these foundational skills. So we've been having the wonderful opportunities to partner with some great folks. Our first one is Ultimate Frisbee, and that is through DISC New York. They are a new kind of group, and they are hungry, and they gave us lots of Frisbees for all of our kids, which is great. We also, as Dr. Mike said earlier, we have a new partnership with NYCFC for soccer. Some things about this one: currently right now they are in 6 of our K-5 schools, and it's going really well, so much so that 244 has shared that they have seen a incredible impact on their student chronic absenteeism. They actually targeted a group of students who were identified as chronically absent or close to it. And Principal Groff has been very transparent in that this has had an impact, because they're doing it in the morning, and children are showing up because they want to play soccer with their PE teacher, as well as the NYCFC coaches who are actually on site holding clinics with our kids. The program looks different in every single school. Every single school is doing what's best for them. And I'm happy to share that in the coming weeks, we are expanding into 4 more schools. The goal is by next spring to have full implementation across District 25 and an exclusive partnership. They've been really wonderful in giving us, space and equipment, and it's been a really great and lucrative partnership for us. Most recently, we developed a partnership with City Lax. Lacrosse, again, is, for those who don't know, is actually the most popular sport in the US, and it's also the oldest sport in the US. It kind of dates back to way back in the day, and so it's very popular on the island and then other areas. So we felt like it was super important to give our students, our kids, an opportunity to have this team. And then lastly, Champs. Many of you have probably heard of that. Champs is centrally funded. It is an opportunity for our schools to offer before and or after school clubs. We have some that are so creative when it comes to like dance and fitness club. We have also jumping rope. We have lots of different opportunities. And with that, I'm also happy to share that we had here in D25, we had 23 winter programs, the most in the city, and we have 23 program applications for the spring currently being kind of audited, and again that is the most in the city. And I really am thankful for all of the principals because they definitely fill out the application, they find the coaches, and give the space. And again, just really important for our kids to have that before and after school program opportunities. And here's just some pictures from our PL when it came to City Lax and then our Ultimate Frisbee. And both of those partnerships are great. City Lax gave us approximately 100 lacrosse sticks for our kids, and we're working on some more donations from a college, and then on the below, all of these teachers, as well as all teachers who could not attend, received about 25 discs. And they have the bigger discs and the smaller ones based on what grade band they are teaching. So again, super important, non-traditional sports, and just having every kid kind of find their niche, find their like, and then building that out into physical literacy. Expanding PE into our classrooms through Move to Improve. Move to Improve, or MTI, is a K-5 activity-based kind of toolbox, if you will. It's not a curriculum, right? The idea is that teachers are using physical activity to teach whatever it is that they're teaching, right? So for instance, on the screen here, you see the climb. Every teacher has access to this. If I was asking a true false question, if I was asking for students to pick A, B, C, or D, instead of just having children raise their hand and kind of answer through being asked to, or being called on, kids can actually show what their choice is through climbing. And I'm super happy to share that we are one of the very few, I'm not allowed to give out the number, but one of the very few districts in the city who has 100% all-star status. What that means is that every single one of our schools, every single teacher has been trained in Move to Improve, and they all have the resources and the tools and access to them to incorporate, movement into teaching. Dr. Mike was talking earlier tonight about the, active kids being better learners. This really lends itself to really touching upon all, learning styles. Kinesthetic learning is a real thing. So this is the best way in which we're kind of moving PE and moving kids being active into the classroom, and teachers love it. So it's good. Just some basic information about health education. All of our schools K-8 have adopted and are using the Health Smart curriculum. It is the only curriculum that has been identified as suitable for New York City public schools. Every school has access to a full teacher and also class set. And we've also secured free online access for every one of our teachers who are teaching health education. We also, this year, we have newly adopted the Growing Up and Staying Safe K-12 curriculum. And we're really moving towards a skill-based approach in health education. So in the past, it was more so like, teachers would teach the data and the, scary stuff. Now it's more so lending itself towards having that skill base, right? So how do I say no? Why do I say no? So it's that knowledge and the, children being able to express, the skills that, come along with saying no and, setting boundaries and things like that, which has been wildly successful. I've seen some amazing role plays in some of our health education classrooms, and kids are getting it. They're actually able to express no and why, and having those kind of skill, skill set that can really kind of save a life. So there we are. And just we're supporting health educators through our monthly, PLCs, as well as some webinar and in-person professional development sessions. And what's interesting here to know is that, especially at the K-5 level, it's not necessarily always a health education teacher doing this. Oftentimes it is, classroom teachers. We have reached out to every one of them, and they are all being supported to make sure that they're, giving high quality health education. So that's that. And just to wrap myself up here, because I can talk for hours about all of this, so I will promise I will move fast. Our District 25 Athletic League, just wanted to give you all some highlights and some, overviews. Specifically, our K-5 schools. What sports do we offer currently? Co-ed basketball, we have 22 teams. Co-ed soccer, 17 teams. Girls soccer, 4 teams. and our cheer teams 22 at the K-5 level. We have some exciting, culminating events. Our basketball all-star game, we actually, that's the, photo that you see there from this past Friday. Because the league is so large, having, 22, teams, we were able to split that in half, and 11 of our teams played this past Friday. They played at Townsend Harris High School, and it was really nice to see the children kind of walk in and into this big gym, and they were really excited to kind of have the audience. And I was looking at our YouTube page, because we do stream every game, and there was over 800 views, which I thought was pretty cool. And then our next all-star game will be this coming Friday, and that will be at Francis Lewis High School. Coming up for our soccer teams, we have our soccer jamboree that'll take place outside. It's kind of a, exhibition day. It's, really great for our kids. And coming in April, a cheer expo. That's one thing that we were very mindful of, and giving, cheer teams, they work very hard, the space to really kind of show what they've done. So we'll have that in the coming coming months. They'll be able to do a cheer, a dance, and it's just a friendly kind of, exhibition. Middle school, these numbers are lower because we have less of them. So middle school sports, co-ed basketball, we have 9 teams, co-ed soccer 10, co-ed volleyball, which is brand new. We do have 7, which I think is, wonderful. Bocce, we have our 5 teams. And just to expand a bit on bocce, just hearing about the, the dialogue about students with, special needs. That's one thing that we really kind of took seriously in, kind of thinking through leagues. Our bocce league, we are one of the only 4 districts in the city to have this league. This is in partnership with Special Olympics. And our teams are made up of students with special needs and our neurotypical students. They're kind of partners, right? So it's a space where children not only learn about the sport, because it's, new and exciting, but it's also a place where children kind of come together, and it gives our students with, special needs opportunities that they might not have had anywhere else, right? Because of busing and things like that. So we're mindful in having all the games during the day, and the students, really love it. And I've really heard a lot, especially from 219, from IS 25, that this has really changed their culture. Children who wouldn't normally sit together at, lunch, they're doing that now. Children who wouldn't normally say hi in the, hall, that they're doing that now. So it's been a, huge culture shift. And most recently, IS 25, we took a field trip to District 9 in the Bronx, and we actually played their bocce team. So it's really kind of getting the kids out of their kind of bubble, and they're definitely seeing more, and they're loving it, and the coaches love it, and it's been very nice. Our cheer team, we have 10 teams, and lacrosse will be launching in April. Our coaches meeting is in 2 weeks. And just our culminating events, we have our bocce opening ceremony, which you see on the top right. It's a great event. We had 25 courts set up. We had teams from 4 different districts, and the kids just had a great day of bocce, and really, celebrating the idea of unified sports and coming together as one. And in the spirit of inclusivity, it could not have been a better day. And it's something that we're definitely looking to expand into different sports and into more schools. And then we have our basketball, soccer, and volleyball championship games, and again, our cheer expo coming in the next few months. Last one for me, just seeing the impact of our sports teams and really kind of what this has grown into. We're seeing an increase in community and teacher motivation, and what we mean by that here is that sometimes teachers teaching the same thing 5 periods in a row, this gives our principals a opportunity to find the passion within all of their different teachers. Like, all of our coaches are not only PE teachers, we have math teachers, special educators, we have teachers from all walks of life, and it kind of like reinvigorates them to be excited, and it gives them a chance to kind of have that creative outlet in, you know, coaching. We're also seeing that children and teacher relationships have improved, you know, through this, in the spirit of, you know, cultural responsive teaching. Kids are able to see their teachers in a different light as they're, you know, coaching. We're seeing a difference in, as I shared earlier, some schools have shared that their attendance rates have definitely shown a difference. School spirit, we're seeing it everywhere. Development of different, you know, school clubs based on our teams, which has been great. Lots of parents are at the games, and every game that I'm at, I always take, you know, pictures because I love seeing all the parents. And it's been really great. And again, this is just an extension of social emotional learning, really kind of teaching kids how to be good humans, that self-awareness, that social relationship piece. It's really kind of just, you know, reinforcing all the things that they're learning through Mind Up and through the, you know, various SEL opportunities that, you know, that they do have in their regular classes. So it's really been impactful and super excited. And just to look ahead, we're really happy to share that we're setting the standard in the city. Everyone looks at our, you know, sports teams and they're jealous. So we're setting the, you know, standard. We're really looking to expand. That's always the goal, to get bigger and better every year. And we really kind of had an idea to really kind of broaden our focus on female sports. We've been in contact with, you know, Girls on the Run, thinking about track and things like that. So we're really looking to expand exclusive, you know, female sports in the coming year. And we really have, you know, a commitment to, you know, student wellness. Without Dr. Mike's kind of excitement and support in all of this, nothing would be possible. So we're very thankful for that. And the whole district team, and you know, all of the parents and our principals and coaches and the kids have been wonderful. So thank you for having me tonight. And I look forward to coming back in the future, hopefully. Thank you very much, everyone.
Thank you so much for joining us tonight. And there is one question in the chat. It is, are lacrosse offered to both middle schools and not elementary schools?
Oh, that's a wonderful question. So it's going to be in both. Okay, so the expectation for our K-5 schools is that it's going to be for K-5, it will be incorporated in their physical education curriculum. They will be receiving sticks, and the expectation is that they will have at least a week-long unit. And with that too, excitingly, City LAX has offered to actually send coaches, similarly to how we do it with NYCFC, to do on-site clinics. And then middle school, again, that, you know, application piece where we will have the lead. Thank you for that question.
Great. Thank you. It's a lot of exciting stuff. So thank you so much for joining us tonight.
Thank you for having me.
Before we let her go, does anyone have any questions?
Yeah, I just want to say thank you for bringing bocce to 219. You have no idea how the kids would get off that bus and they'll win. And they're like, we won, we did it, and we cheer for them. And it's just amazing how something so simple that I've really seen bocce, but never really understood it, that they really get serious in our school. And it did link and bridge our kids with disabilities and in general education. So that is amazing. And our coaches, our gym teachers are excited for what's coming, because in Para Teachers Conference, that's all they kept telling me, is like, there's so many amazing things that are coming. We're gonna do this. And, you know, it's so I'm really excited. So I'm glad to have met you. I'm glad that you're here. And do all the great works. We just got Victoria, a new gym teacher who's doing health.
She's actually mine.
Amazing.
She's mine. I love her.
You can't, no backseas. We love her. You can't have her back.
I love her. You know,
she fits right in.
She fits right in. I just want to you know, echo what you said. And first of all, thank you. And it's not me. It's the, you know, team, and it's, you know, Dr. Mike, who's a place of yes all the time. Like, none of this would happen. But I just want to touch on what you said, like, as a parent, and like hearing you speak, and I was like, you know, tearing up because I'm a mom, and, you know, we're crazy and emotional. But I was tearing up because I think about it from the parents' lens, right? A lot of our students with, you know, special needs, they don't ever get to go to a game. They don't ever get to see their child compete or in that space, right? And I think about the parents with this program and how that brings so much, you know, joy and happiness, and, you know, they feel, you know, a part of the team. And I just love that you pointed that out, because I do think about the parents, and I'm happy that it's brought a lot to your you know, child, and to the school, and to you. So thank you for that.
My child's not on the team yet because he's only in 5th grade, but I cheer on the kids when they come down. Yeah. When they come down from the U, our school has this U, we cheer on, and then we're like, we won. And it's like, we just cheer them on, high five them, and they feel like big stars in our school. So that's pretty cool. So thank you for that.
I'm so happy. Thank you. Thank you all for having me. I appreciate it.
We have 2 more questions in the chat about the Cheer Expo. One is it open to all the elementary schools, and where will it be held at?
Yes. So, great question. Thank you for asking those. So, yes, the Cheer Expo will be for our 4th and 5th grade cheer teams, as well as our middle school. It looks like it's going to be at Bayside High School, as well as you know, Francis Lewis, because we have so many schools. We're trying to kind of break it up, and we're doing so intentionally, where we're going to have a mix of the middle and the 4th and 5th grade, so that children who are in, you know, 4th and, you know, 5th grade can kind of look up to the older, you know, members of the team. And at both sites also, we'll also be having the high school cheer teams perform, to kind of give that, you know, high school view of what that can look like, you know, as they keep going and, you know, moving up. And it'll be open to everybody. And it'll also be live streamed, as all of our events are.
Great. Any other
Thank you
questions
all.
before we move on? Okay, well, thank you so much for being with us tonight. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
Rachel, if I can just give just a huge shout out. I don't know if you guys are blown away by all of the things that Diana is organizing. She doesn't give herself enough credit, but anything that she can get her hands on to bring to the district, she's working to do. So big shout out to you, Diana.
And this is like only part of her job. I don't even know if this is really her job. She has like another job of like phys ed teachers and school day. So
so exciting. It's a lot of exciting stuff. Can't wait to see more of it come to all of the schools, and it'll be 100% participation in all items. That'll be really exciting to look forward to. Okay, well, before we open up the floor to questions, I just wanted to share on some brief reminders that were brought up during the CPAC meeting last week, the Chancellor's Parent Advisory Council. There was some talk about reminding the parent leaders about upcoming elections. We're coming up close to election times for the following year, parent leaders. Just a few reminders. Elections are to be held either in person or fully virtual, easy for me to say, but they cannot be hybrid. Also, you have to pay attention to your bylaws if there are any term limits, to adhere to those. In addition, if you are running for a position, you cannot run the election, so you have to make sure you in your March and April meetings are able to form a nomination committee so that they can handle the nomination and the election portion of the meeting, for both your parent leaders, for the PTA, PA-PTA, as well as SLT. So just a few quick items there to point out as you have your elections coming up shortly. And it's also very important to try and conclude your elections by May. So that way at the June President's Council meeting, all of the newly elected presidents of the PA-PTAs can come and participate in the elections for the board for the coming year for the President's Council. Before we close the meeting tonight, does anyone have any questions or comments they'd like to bring up to the membership?
Sorry to interrupt you, Rachel. I'm also going to talk about the DOE external email account.
Oh, yes, I'm sorry, I forgot I skipped over that. Sorry, Jenny, go ahead.
Right. So hi, good evening, everyone. For those who don't know me, I'm the Family Support Coordinator for District 25. I work side by side with Esther, and tonight I'm here on behalf of Esther. So now I'm here, I'm gonna grab the chance to talk a little bit about the DOE external email accounts that has been slowly rolled out by our DOE DIIT team. So as you all have heard about last year, they mentioned about, removing the current email account for our parent leaders. And then the DIIT redesigned a new one, and everyone's gonna get one. Like it will be the PTA president, it will be the treasurer and the secretary, and also our Title I PAC chairperson, alternate, and secretary. So each one can get the DOE external email account. And Esther and I have received the training on how to create the account in the beginning of the school year, and we have then turnkey and trained our parent coordinator last week. Starting April, the parent coordinator will be connecting with all our parent leaders in regards to create the email account. And I'm gonna mention a little bit about the timeline and the expectations, what the school will be asking. So when parent coordinator, they call you, they are expecting, they will be asking for your first name, last name, the birthday, your date of birth. And then in one of the boxes, they are also asking for the parent's driver license number. We don't know if every parent have a driver license or, they are comfortable sharing it, but they are asking for it. But then we have noticed that other schools, what other districts have been doing, instead of using the driver license number, they have been replacing it with OSIS number. So it also went through. So just giving you a heads up, they might be asking for that, but I will tell the PC so we can be on the same page. And then they will be asking for the title. If you are a DPAC chairperson for Queens, they have one of the choice to choose that, or if you are parent president, PTA president, they have the choice for that for each borough. And then parent leaders who have been given this new DOE external email account will then ask to identify their all important files, relevant files to be downloaded and saved, so then it can be moved and stored to the new account. Because the deadline to do that is November 3rd, 2024. By November 4th, 2024, the old account would then be disabled, then parent leaders would no longer have access to, to the old account. So make sure all the important files will be moved or downloaded to be stored in the new account. Starting December 2024, December 31st, all old accounts would then be disabled and no one would ever have, available to access those accounts. So this is the timeline, and this is a little bit about the DOE external email accounts. So if you guys want wants additional support, me and Esther are here to support the schools, and then to support the parent leaders with the account. That's it.
Great. Thank you so much, Jenny, and thank you for being here on behalf of Esther, who couldn't be with us tonight.
Thank you for having me.
I have a question. Will the Zoom accounts be I guess like up and running, and which who will it be linked to?
Yes, I totally forgot to mention that. So every parent leaders who are giving this account to, I mean, everyone on the PTA executive board, like PTA president, the treasurer, the secretary, they can all have the account. With the account, you will get all the benefits like we have as a DOE staff. You will have the whole Microsoft package. You will have an on-time Zoom account. So you won't, when you have meetings, you shut down after 1 hour, so it's on time. And then you will have Microsoft Teams. You will have the Google Drive. You will have, with the Google Drive, you can create the presentation by using the slide. And you also have Google Forms to create surveys, etc. So you will have all the benefits that we have as a DOE staff.
Okay, nice. Good to know. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Great question, Christine. Thank you. Okay, well, if there are no other questions or comments for Jenny or any, yes.
Can I make an announcement?
Yes, Wendy, go ahead.
Hi, good evening, everyone. My name is Wendy Yu. I'm the current CEC 25 president. Our administrative assistant had just left the CEC and the position is open. And I want to let all the presidents of PTA know that if you know anyone interested in applying for the administrative assistant position on the CEC, they can check the website, the DOE website. Also, you may forward your resumes to me. I will enter my email in the chat. So that's my announcement. Thank you, Rachel.
Sure, no problem. So we'll look forward to that Wendy's email in the chat. So if anyone knows of someone that would be qualified for that position, feel free to share the information. And who knew you could come to the President's Council meeting and also get information about job opportunities. So one-stop shop. Annie Lai is from JHS 185 is asking if you can share the job description.
I will put my email in the chat and then email me and I'll send the job posting privately.
Okay, sounds good.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. No, sweetheart. Okay. All right. Well, thank you all for your attention and for staying till the end. And we look forward to our next meeting in April. If you have any requests for presenters or any suggestions, any fundraisers that you'd like to recommend or vendors you'd like to visit, please feel free to email the President's Council. Our email is available on our President's Council webpage. And so thank you very much to everyone for participating tonight. And if somebody could make a motion to dismiss the meeting and state your name.
A motion to dismiss Myrna Pacheco, PSMS 219.
The second
Great,
motion, Christine.
Great. So it's 7:59 and the March President's Council meeting is officially adjourned. Thank you all for your attendance tonight, and we'll look forward to seeing you next month.
Bye.
Thank you, Ray. Have a good night, everyone.
Thank you. Have a good
Bye.
night.
Good night.
Good night.